Hello everyone, Jocelyn here, and in today's video I need to address AI again. This is a tale of something that happened to me just yesterday, and it really threw me for a loop when it happened. This really caught me off guard because I was not expecting it at all. So let's talk about it. A little background. I work part-time, so for my sins I still have to go to the job centre and see an advisor, but this only happens once every 2 months. And normally she asks things like, what can we do to improve your income? And what more can you do? And usually I tell her I am looking for other work as well. Because what else am I supposed to do in my situation? And sometimes she even finds jobs to recommend to me. She did that just yesterday as well. And we were looking through the specs of the job. I was looking at it thinking, oh, actually, this looks good. I could do this. Now this is a job in a reception as a receptionist, and we were looking over my CV, and she, I have quite a few good transferable skills. She asked me if I had any experience. I said yes, and we were talking about that, and she says, well, your recent jobs are mostly in hospitality, so would you not lie? But, and I said, highlight the things that they are looking for, and she says yes. Then she asks, have you considered AI? This is the part that threw me for a bit of a loop, because it was so unprompted, and I had just acquiesced to tinkering with the CV to highlight the favourable parts of it for this particular application, and I said absolutely not, absolutely not. And she says, why? I said, well, it's deeply unethical. And then she asked, oh, why is that? Now that was the part that really caught me off guard, because as someone as chronically online as I am, I have been watching a great deal of people talking about AI, the rise thereof, and going through all of the issues that they have with it. So here's me thinking that saying it's unethical is practically a given in everyone else's minds, because it is in mine. I didn't really have much of an answer prepared at that. I just said, look, I don't want to have a machine do the thinking for me when I'm perfectly capable of using my own brain to do this. And like I said, I had already acquiesced to the tweaking of the CV to make it look good for this job. And I know that she didn't just mean something like spell check or Grammarly, and I do have issues with Grammarly as well, but it's just the casual way that it came out that was surprising to me, and also that she didn't seem to be aware of the reasons why AI might even be considered unethical, might even be a controversial topic to bring up. And I must remind you that this is a job centre advisor. I will not say which one for privacy reasons. But I'm willing to bet that if she's saying this to me, it's not because she's thinking, oh, AI is so great. I'm thinking it's because the advisors have been told to perhaps push this as an option. So first of all, let's go through all the quick reasons why AI is bad. Now, I did make a video about AI about 1.5 years ago, specifically on the topic of the generative art side of it. And while I did say in that video, it is not my place to tell you what to think, I can still give you my reasons as to why I think it is a bad thing to use. First of all, it produces nonsensical slop that is largely factually dubious at best. Why would I want a machine that can tell me to put glue on a pizza or can't count the R's in strawberry sifting about with my CV and telling me what it thinks is optimal? Even worse, I know that there are companies out there who are using AI to sift through CVs. Just fucking don't. Just don't. A very pressing reason for a lot of people is that usage of AI's, spectacular meteoric rise is having a massive blowback effect on the environment. Call me a hippie, I don't care. Yes, I hug trees, big fucking deal. I give a shit about the place where I live. Why doesn't everybody? Data centers are disrupting people's lives, animals' lives, creating unnatural noise and polluting the water, making it unsuitable for drinking, and mostly dicking over the mostly impoverished. Also, some billionaire can get more billions. They are not our friends. The billionaires are pushing this on us because they see this as a money-making business. This isn't here to improve our lives. This isn't here to improve anybody's lives except their own. And how are they using it? They're cutting down on costs by not hiring people to do jobs. AI is stealing jobs. Why would I want to use AI that's stealing a job that could even be stealing a job from me? Most certainly could in 5 years' time, maybe 3 years' time, could replace the job advisor that I was speaking to. Probably won't, but theoretically could. It also creates this addictive over-reliance on the AI usage itself in people experiencing AI psychosis. This is a thing that's happening now. People are getting too involved with their AI devices and treating them like real people, and this is pushing out the capability of having real human relationships with real people. And God help us all, like people having relationships, romantic relationships with AI, trying to get married to these fucking things. I know these are extreme cases, but they are happening more and more often. This is terrifying. And the last thing, of course, is the thing that I mentioned to my advisor, is that I am not willing to sell out my thinking to, ruin my brain concentration even more than it already has been, because hello, ADHD. But use of AI, overuse of AI, shortcuts critical thinking skills. I'm not willing to slopify my brain just for the sake of doing that. And I doubt that one use of AI to change a CV here would do that. But it always starts with just one. Yes, I'm making a thin end of the wedge argument there. But it started with just one. That's how I ended up smoking for 11 years. It started with just one cigarette. In order to push back against the enshittification that is in an ever-present threat to human existence as I know it, I'm not going to participate in that. Society is better off without, and I'm not saying that just because it's new. I'm saying that because we already have studies saying that there's something to this. Just earlier today, I watched a video by Lily Simpson complaining about why all of the feed in her YouTube was so samey and also so depressing. And the reason is AI generative scripts, a thing I will never do. And all these creators using AI to make their scripts, maybe even contribute visuals to their videos as well. And then the AI sees that and thinks, oh, well, that's a thing. And it creates this feedback loop until everything is just homogenized, the same, boring. Not life, not real life. There's a lot of good life to live. This is, I think, partly what has contributed to what is now very talked about in this past week or two online, the whole Hank Green situation. I'm not going to go into that now because a lot of other people already have. Let's just say that I am aware of that. This is a thing that is yet another reason to step away from AI, to distance myself from that in any regard I can. And also now YouTube is making sweeping demonetization practices of any content that they perceive as AI generated, and they're using an AI to do the figuring out of which videos are and are not. I'm sorry, make it make sense. And they're using this flawed AI that's striking people's channels who aren't using AI, but it's being picked up as if it is, and then they get their channels demonetized. It's a whole big thing. We were better off without AI. And I don't just mean the YouTube sphere. Like, let's just talk politics for a moment, because it's impossible not to, given that this is me. Trump creating unhinged AI slop memes, posting them on Twitter in the wee hours of the morning, and then falling asleep in the Oval Office and being functionally the same as a fucking cabbage. Like, his cognitive decline is measurable. I'm not saying it was caused by AI. I'm saying it was already going to happen. What I'm saying is that we can use the amount of posts that he's making as a way to measure that decline in cognitive function. Hello everyone, I'm just editing this now and realising that I don't think I made my point as eloquently or precisely as I could have in that last sentence, so let me elaborate. What I mean to say is that the mind of the president is such an outlandish thing. It's so far detached from reality that he is creating images of himself and his political opponents in situations that have never happened as a part of the AI circus's slopification of what we see as a result. And it's just dangerous for someone that powerful to be like inventing things that never happened and then using AI generated slop to try and prove that, and doing so through the official government channels. This is not good, sane, well behaviour coming from anyone. Now, I would say he needs to be put into a home and retire, but I disagree with that. I think he needs to be put in jail. I think he needs to be imprisoned, and I think he needs to be taken away from society for the benefit of the rest of society because of all of the many, 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 many fraud, crimes, Epstein files, bullshit, all of it. All of it. That is what I mean. Anyway, when I'm saying that, like, we are tracking his progress of cognitive decline through AI. It's the things that he's inventing in order to make himself look better and in order to make his political opponents look worse. And I know America is, well, let's just say America be crazy, because it's true. But I expected better from my government for some baffling reason. Because the job centre, this is a government institution. Then again, there is a election in a few days in a constituency where the most prominent candidates on the ballot are a right-wing neo-fascist and an intergalactic space bin. And the latter is the better of the choices. Point being, it's my life. I don't have much control over it, but the parts I can control, I will. And this is a thing I can very clearly choose to reject because of my aforementioned reasons. I think that's fair. But tell me what you think. Comments below. All that jazz. Do it now. But if you are going to leave a comment, at least type it out yourself and don't have AI do it for you. Non-binary is valid, goddammit. And AI is not.